So I just did an episode on this Quebec band that's been taking the internet by storm called ANGINE de Poitrine, and check that video out. But when I put it out, I had no idea that so many fans would actually, descend upon my channel and discuss the band and talk about the music. And it was really, really cool for everyone to be sort of talking about this new band and the similarities with other music. This is the stuff that really excites me, and one of the reasons I started this channel. So thank you to all of you who came on the channel, and I wanted to just extend a little more about how I see this as a similarity to the way Stuart Copeland wrote in The Police. Now, a lot of bands in the last 10, 15 years have been very, now not necessarily bands as such, but popular artists. They have been using the same chord combinations, and it's really become quite cookie cutter. And I think bands like ANGINE de Poitrine coming out and turning the internet on its head, just turning everybody's ears, inside out, is what we need. It's what we need right now in this world of cookie cutter music. And I find that bands back in the day, XTC, The Police, Genesis, all those bands, they had hits. Those were the bands that were making huge hits, like number ones, right? But then they also had the albums, they had these quirky, interesting explorations. And that's where musicians like me, when I was young and a teenager in the 80s, I was introduced to a lot of really cool different music through these artists because of the hit songs. You heard them on the radio, and then you had to buy the album, and then you had to listen to the whole thing. So then you discovered all these incredible new either styles or ways of playing, and some of the musicians that were on those albums introduce you to new sort of levels of expertise, and that stuff is incredible. And I find that doesn't happen. You get an album now from something that's on Spotify, like a hit song, and the rest of the album either sounds all the same or it doesn't take you places, and I miss that. So a band like ANGINE de Poitrine and a lot of quirky bands that you find on the internet really do help balance that out, and I think that's what we need. I wanted to show you a guitar cover that I did of the song Miss Credenko, written by Stuart Copeland, and right away you can hear in that guitar line and the bass line, the way they interlock and sort of clash with each other, how there's similarities to the modal approach of a band like ANGINE de Poitrine. Have a listen here. Okay, so you can tell right there, there's right? So, excuse my, if I had the guitar with me, I'd be able to do it a lot better. But you can hear that kind of a really quirky, different mode that's happening and that rolling pattern, and then the bass line. And, then it sort of becomes very consonant in the chorus. And, when we talk about consonance and dissonance in music, just like in literature, we have consonance, which is things sort of clicking and being having a structure that supports all the elements supporting each other. And dissonance is where things do not. And so in music, you've got intervals. So you've got the tonic, which is like a C, and then you've got a G, which is the fifth, and that's a consonant interval. But if you flatten the G, then you've got a tritone, and that's a very uneasy feeling, right? That tritone, which is a C to a G flat or an F sharp, and these intervals give you uneasy feelings, and that's called dissonance, right? And this can happen with rhythms as well. And in this particular tune, I'm going to play a bit of the solo that Andy Summers came up with, and that is a very also you know, zany sounding solo. And the reason is because the notes are there's lots of notes in there that are incongruent with what's going on underneath in the bass line. And, you know, this type of stuff really helps give the music an originality. And I was actually, one of the comments was talking about how Angine de Poitrine has this, there's similarity to a North African tribal music that, and I took a listen to it, and it's so true. There's a lot of music from around the world, like I mentioned in the last video, that has this infectious vibe, and these things have been developed in traditional music, you know, over centuries. Like, so again, dissonance can happen with rhythms as well. And you know, this is in a 4/4, this particular tune, and I'm trying to cover all the parts as well. But in this solo, you can hear Andy Summers' melody kind of really give it a very exotic vibe.
Miss Critical, are you safe?
All right, yeah, so again, I'm watching myself play that. I did that performance about a year ago, and it's pretty crazy to cover all the parts. So you know, but you can hear the melody in there, that guitar solo. I heard that guitar solo, you know, on Synchronicity, you know, decades ago, and it just blew my mind. And again, it took me into a world of music that I never knew. Like, you hear Every Breath You Take, very consonant song, very popular, very pleasing. You know, it was #1, one of the biggest songs of the 80s. But on that same album, you got Miss Credenko. And that's because Andy Summers and Stuart Copeland were pushing the envelope. So I guess I wanted to hop on here and just show my appreciation for all of you guys coming on and talking about this and being excited about a band that's flying in the face of what's going on right now. And it's kind of cool. It's really neat to see. And I'd love to see how AI would ever try and come up with something like that. I mean, you know, we'll see what happens. But stick around. Please like and subscribe and share and add more comments if anyone else has anything else to say about this particular song or any other bands that they are excited about. I'm going to be here talking about creativity and music and how to approach it. And, you know, with my 30 years of doing this, it's exciting to actually talk and connect with people like you who love music and use it as a wonderful escape from this crazy world. Okay, we'll see you in the next video. Take care.